Eric Dane, the brooding heartthrob turned introspective warrior whose screen presence has long conveyed quiet intensity, has laid bare the profound shifts wrought by his ALS diagnosis, revealing a life no longer centered on self but on family, purpose, and unyielding advocacy. In a raw reflection, Dane articulates the necessity of sharing his battle. "I would love my life to be all about me, but I just can't. I don't think I would be able to move forward if that were the case. It's been a propulsive sort of component to my existence." This admission, far from defeatist, underscores a pivot toward propulsion, using his platform to illuminate the brutal realities of amyotrophic lateral sclerosis while clinging to the artistry that defines him. Amid physical frailties, Dane's voice remains a clarion call, blending vulnerability with defiance in a narrative that redefines resilience. Dane's entanglement with ALS is no abstract tale, it's a visceral confrontation that has reshaped his worldview. Diagnosed in recent years, the neurodegenerative disease, infamous for claiming icons like Stephen Hawking and Lou Gehrig, progresses relentlessly, eroding muscle control while leaving cognition intact. For Dane, a former Grey's Anatomy staple as the tortured McSteamy, this irony stings. His body, once a vessel for chiseled charisma, now betrays him, yet his mind races with unspent energy. "I have no reason to be in a good spirit at any time on any given day," he confesses, preempting pity with honesty. "I don't think anybody would blame me if I went upstairs in my bedroom, crawled under the sheets, and spent the next 2 weeks crying." Yet, he defies expectation. "I was a little bit pleasantly surprised when I realized that I wasn't built like that. It's encouraging for me to know I actually can handle it with a buoyant spirit in the face of something so horrible." This buoyancy isn't innate, it's forged in the fires of adaptation, a daily recommitment to levity amid loss. Central to Dane's anchor is family, his estranged wife Rebecca Gayhart, and their daughters Billy and Georgia, whose presence reframes his fight. "I want to make sure that people are aware of what ALS is and what it's about, and more importantly, what we can do to combat it and improve the landscape," he asserts, decrying the rocky and littered with hurdles and bureaucracy that stymies progress. Advocacy, for Dane, is activism born of intimacy. Fundraising for research, amplifying patient voices, navigating red tape to secure trials. It's a role that extends his paternal instincts, turning personal peril into collective crusade. Gayhart, a fellow actor whose own career navigated Hollywood's whims, embodies this partnership. Their separation, announced amid his diagnosis, speaks to love's evolution, supportive, not severed. Artistically, ALS infiltrates Dane's work, blurring lines between role and reality. His portrayal of a firefighter grappling with the disease in Brilliant Minds was cathartic torment. "The hardest thing for me to do was separate myself from the character because it was so fresh. I've never played a character who was going through something that I'm dealing with in real time." Scenes demanded emotional excavation, with lines emerging through choked breaths, a meta-performance where vulnerability fueled authenticity. There were moments where it was very difficult for me to even get the lines out. But I, overall, was very grateful for the experience. I found it to be a bit cathartic. This immersion highlights acting's therapeutic edge, allowing Dane to process grief on set, transforming pain into pixels that educate and empathize. Yet, Dane confronts career constraints head-on. "I'm fairly limited in what I can do physically as an actor, but I still have my brain and I still have my speech," he notes, vowing versatility. "I'm willing to do just about anything. I'll take on any role. But I think, from here on out, it's going to have to be ALS-centric." This isn't resignation but reinvention, roles that leverage his intellect over athletics, perhaps voiceovers, directing stints, or narratives centering disability. "It's going to be very difficult for me to play any other role. I'm grateful I can still work in any capacity. I'm not going to concede my purpose for some disease. I'm just not capable of doing that." Echoing peers like Zach Gottsagen, who broke barriers in The Peanut Butter Falcon, Dane positions himself as a trailblazer, demanding inclusive casting that honors lived experience. Dane's ethos ripples outward, challenging ALS stigma. The disease, often shrouded in despair, benefits from his candor, demystifying symptoms, spotlighting inequities in care. His advocacy aligns with organizations pushing for FDA approvals and funding, turning celebrity into catalyst. Personally, it sustains him. "It's encouraging for me to know I actually can handle it with a buoyant spirit." This spirit manifests in small victories, family game nights, script readings, reminders that joy persists. For the industry, Dane's journey prompts reflection. How can sets accommodate invisible illnesses? His story, raw and resolute, urges empathy over exploitation. In summation, Eric Dane's battle isn't diminishment but expansion, A life propelled by purpose, where acting and advocacy entwine to defy ALS grip. His words, buoyant against the tide, inspire. Resilience isn't absence of storm but dancing in the rain. As he forges ahead, Dane reminds us that true strength lies not in unbroken bodies, but unyielding wills.